Welcome back, everyone. I am Zell, and hey, guys, I just had all of these D2 and G10, or in the case of this, some kind of plastic knives laying here on the desk while I was doing some other things, and I thought, hey, we could go over those real quick and just see what we're getting. You know, we've got so many options now. It's not like it was just, a year ago or so. This knife came on the scene and, we had D2 all of a sudden in a rat, which was great. And then we come out with their D2 and G10 knives at $100 with all the titanium hardware and stuff. And it was another revelation in the knife industry. And I know $100 is expensive, but they were bringing all the quality that we was putting into their titanium knives into a knife at $100 with D2 and G10 and just some beautiful G10, and it was freaking awesome. And then, as things moved along, Still will come about with their cut jack. And the cut jack, I know I have my issues with it, but overall, it's a really, really great knife at its price point. And Best Tech comes along about a year ago. And I guess this was almost 2 years ago now. Whenever this one came out, I said a year. I'm off by a year. And not too long after the Wii, and then the cut jack come along last year, as well as Best Tech. And Best Tech came out the gates hard with several D2 models, as well as some titanium models. And, they had some setbacks with, they had some issues with the quality of their D2, which they think they've got taken care of. But still yet, they were giving us great knives at $52. Now, they weren't up to the quality of the Wii, and whenever I say quality, I'm talking about materials and just that little final panache that makes a Wii knife compared to everything else on the table. And now that I've got information on this Tuya company, and I'm happy to bring them to you, I kind of put that off until I was able to talk to Tuya themselves because of so many knives coming in and out of the community at such a high rate as far as brands. And I didn't want to bring you guys something that I wasn't comfortable was going to be around for a while. Now, no guarantees, of course, but I've talked to their U.S. rep and U.S. distributor, and I feel like Tuya is a knife brand that is going to be sticking with us. So now we've got Tuya knives. Now, this one is running at $45 right now. I do not expect that to stick. As Tuya continues to expand, they've got to put a little bit more meat on the bone, so to speak, so that other places can sell their knives besides just through their U.S. distributor. And that so that means that our $44.95 that we're getting right now for the Bruiser probably going to go up into the $50 range somewhere. But since I had them all on the desk, let's get a look at them and see what our major differences are. And let's start down here at what is currently the two cheapest ones. We have the Bruiser and we have the Rat Model 2. Or Rat Model 1, excuse me. I keep trying to make this rat small for some reason. If you've watched some of the recent videos, I don't know why, but it is the Model 1. It's in D2. It's not the R2D2. Anyhow, we've got two very good knives. The Tuya knife is put together extremely well. Whenever you see the review on it, which will be here in the next week or two, you'll see that there are some drawbacks, but at $44.95 or $44.99, go buy as many of them as you can get away with. That's just the way that works. Our Rat Model 1 coming in at generally less than $40 though, guys, that is still the steal of the century. Is it the greatest knife out there in that price range anymore? It depends on what you're looking for. For most of us, no. For most of us, we've got the steel wheel knives, Best Tech, and now Tuya, and that's going to be where it's at, simply because of flipper tabs, bearings, and a little more panache and style. But overall, you guys know what you get out of the Rat Model 1. You got your polyester, or whatever they call them, handles that are pretty nice. They've got a nice feel to them, good grip, and all that good stuff. And they use pretty reasonable hardware, and they do a good job making sure the knife has a decent action, centers up reasonably well, and is just a joy to use. It's just a big fat knife, though, for a 3.5-inch blade. Not much different than the rest of them, though. Our Tuya here has just got a superb action. That's just unreal on a $45 knife, basically. And they are doing some things like polishing up the stainless and, bearings, all the good stuff. And they did include a deep carry pocket clip on this one. However, they've got some issues still with their pivots, although the U.S. guy tells me that is going to be fixed in coming models. But very good knives. From what I can tell, I've used this one some, and I like it. In fact, I like it a lot. That's a problem, because it's got a couple of those little issues that bug me, like the T6 for the pivot and it being kind of shallow. And it does have that, they didn't get the grind quite right. That doesn't really bug me that much. What I really love here, though, is how they've done their forward finger choil. That is an absolute win. I'll talk more about that in the full review of this knife. But overall, you just really can't go wrong. Now, Bestech, this is the yet-to-be-released Paladin. You guys will be seeing it in stores here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And it is, it's another win for Bestech. They listened. They went back to D2 and G10. They caught, your general Bestech action, just freaking perfect. And they've done a good job. They've actually added in some of the stuff that myself and others have complained about being missing whenever you compared them to Wii. The texture here and here, and a little bit more milling right in here to give it just that extra little bit of look. And yeah, this one does kind of look like a kendo, but we've got just a slightly swept up blade on this one. It's more of a drop point, and it's just, I think it's going to be a great little cutter. But more importantly, they're hashing out how they're going to build these things. We've got a T8 pivot in this one. It is still free spinning, but from the people over at Bestech, I hear that newer models coming out will be getting rid of the free spinning pivot. However, it really hasn't been a problem in these G10 and D2 models as far as the free spinning pivot. You've been able to put a little pressure on the blade like that and get them undone. Not a problem. But very good looking knives and very good option at $52. It's really hard to argue with that. And I kind of skipped our Still Will knife, and that's because I just have a little bit of an issue with all of them having this bit of, it's handle flex is what it is. However, whenever you put your hand on the knife and use it, that handle flex really doesn't do anything. It's all good. It's just, I notice it, so it bugs me. And Still Will has, now this is back to, I started to say they have a great action. I need to explain something first, though. They are running on phosphor bronze little bushings, and they have just an excellent flipping action. Doesn't matter which one, Modus, Intrigue, Cutjack, all of them. And that's pretty impressive, and they get that knife really thin. I don't like the pocket clips too much, but man, do they make good budget back pocket knives as long as you pay attention, because that pocket knife will, or that pocket clip will make the knife lift against the seat in your vehicle, or anywhere else you might sit down. So you got to be aware that you got the knife in there. But still, we're talking about around $40. It's just a beautiful thing what's happening. And then, the most expensive knife on the table is this old Wii 617. And people are probably saying, well, why would I get the Wii whenever I can get any of those other 4 knives on the table at half the price or less? Well, Wii is still bringing it, and what they're bringing is still something you can't get here. Titanium hardware. You're getting a titanium milled pocket clip. You're getting more attention to detail on all your blade coatings and finishes. Although these guys here the Tuya knives and Bestech knives are getting there. You're also getting thoughtful chamfers everywhere, which you're not getting here yet. The Tuya knife isn't too bad. In fact, it's pretty good. But the Bestech knives, they've still got some sharp edges on the tops, on the spines of the blade. And, and maybe that's for striking a ferro rod, but it doesn't make for a great everyday carry knife if you got something kind of sharp in your pocket. And WE just gives you everything, that little bit of extra. They're using a denser G10 so that they can mill in all that texture that you see there. And it just makes for a really beautiful knife in the $100 range. And I still think the WE knife is a very good value in that range for what you're getting. And so are the rest of them, really. Whenever you take the step down to these knives here, your Tuya and your Bestech, you're not, blade-wise, you're not going that far. Now, you are going far on the G10. They're using a softer G10, and it's both brands, and it's a not as milled. And even though Bestech tried on this knife to get you some texture in here, and it is textured, it's not that sharp cut texture that you're going to get on the WE knife. And that's just because of the G10. It's not because they didn't try, because they tried. But it's just a factor of the material they're using. Same thing here. We've got slightly softer G10, thinner G10, and non-nested liners on this particular model, which is fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I actually like some of the knives that are built in this manner quite a lot. But it's something that people are going to fuss about. But I think all these knives, for the most part, fit in their respective price categories really, really well. I think these two brands, once Tuya gets some hardware issues straightened out, specifically getting rid of the T6 on the pivot, and once they both get the free spinning pivot thing squared up, if they're still running these knives around $50, that is the best bang for buck for a full-size knife in the industry. If you're looking for, with the recent Spyderco price hikes, if you're looking for a little nicer knife, right around $100, it's really hard to ignore the WE if you're looking for a full-size knife. Any of their D2 and G10 knives, really, really hard to ignore them because, one, it's the action that is just unreal at that price point, and the milling, the titanium backspacers, titanium pocket clips. Really hard to argue with that. And these two knives, even down at the lower end, at $30, $40, freaking outstanding values because you're getting very good steel and well put together knives. The Ontario Rat Model 1 has forever been one of the best put together knives in the industry at that lower price point. You do have to watch them. Sometimes they get really, really late lockup, but they use reasonable hardware. They use reasonable materials all throughout the knife, and they do a good job of getting the knife together and getting it right. Steel Will's doing the same thing. I can't complain about anything they've done putting the knife together. It's even centered up real well. The only thing they've got is that bit of handle flex, but like I said, it's not that huge a deal. So anyhow, guys, I just wanted you to get a look at the G10 and D2 models that have come out in the past year and a half, 2 years, and have really transformed the industry and changed our opinions about steel. It's very obvious that it's changed our opinions because Bestech came out with these, and they've got 12C27 in them, which is actually a very good steel for the price point, and people would have been saying it was very good and almost a steal just, I don't know, a year or so ago. But it's not anymore because of the knives on the table. Now, do I think some of these little knives are worth it? Yeah, I do. I like the 12C27. It's The Sandvik steels have I've got a soft spot for them. So for me, they would still be worth that price tag. But for most people, they're not looking for that 12C27 whenever you can pick up these. And I'm going to leave it there, guys. You all have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go to theapexnews.com for all your knife news needs and all of our podcasts. They're all up over there. You can stream them right off the website. And everyone have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.